Okay, well, fingers crossed. This makes, you can see me okay?
Yeah, it hasn't been jumpy.
No. Well, fingers crossed, it might just be my laptop. Okay, cool. So, let's start with a nice gentle one, and we'll build it up from there, basically. So the first one I want to do is our step around the world. Can you see me okay? I hope you can.
See you. I feel like mine's not a very good angle, but
yeah, I'm not sure mine is anymore, because now I'm like,
I can't see your feet, but I can see the rest of you.
yeah, let's try, if I turn that way, put you on the sofa, maybe that could find the right balance there. Ooh. Oh, now it's just my feet. Oh no, that's okay, isn't it?
That looks good.
Perfect. Okay, so hand up nice and high. Doesn't need to be like reaching super high, just kind of just above your head, until your other hand across. And we're going to do a move called step around the world. So you step with your inside leg, so stepping it in, hand comes on, swing yourself around all the way to the other side, and then stepping it back. So basically we're just doing a big step all the way round. Now, you can take it and almost like with one hand, with one foot, replace the other foot, but you can also do it through half, and so like half a turn as well. So step and then take it to the other side, and then lifting it up behind. And this is really a transitional move. So it's just kind of getting the bearings of that movement and that flow around the pole. So it starts to feel really fluid and really natural. I'm just going to have a little check on yours. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, yes, and that's another way you can do it. So this, in its simplest form, is just a step around. But if you would like to make it a little bit more fancy, then we can step round and lift up that leg, and then do our little balance, which I know we've done in session before. So that's where you can transition it, but you can also then turn it into spins. So often you'll use this one before then turning it into a spin. So it's kind of like, you can use it as like a link move almost, or you can kind of like step it round and then take it into a back bend. Like you can use it in different ways. So I often like to take my leg up, but just using it to start feel comfortable stepping around. When you do a step, your first step wants to be really close to the pole, and so this first step is small, and then your second one is big. Almost like as you take it round, imagine you're drawing a big circle with your other leg. So, yeah. Yes, really nice, really nice. And I want you to think with your outside foot, imagine you've got some coloured pencils on you in between your toes, and I want you to like visualize drawing a big circle as you go round. So drawing it round, and that just kind of adds a bit more drama and makes it really clean as well, which is always good. And then what I want us to do is take it into a back bend, so you can start feeling like you're moving into a space. So hands up in position, step with your inside leg, outside leg steps all the way round, step on the outside leg, and then keep turning so that hip comes next to the pole. Hand is where it is, and obviously we've now got new inside arm, so then I let go of my top hand and then can lean it back and over. And I kind of lean over. Now when I do a back bend, there's two ways to do back bends. One, you might have a really flexy back, and you can just lean with the back, or bend your knees. So even though it looks like a back bend, technically it's a squat, and I'm leaning with a squat, so my back still is straight, but because I'm bending with my knees, it gives the illusion that I'm doing a beautiful back bend. So yes, so let's just try linking the two. Oh no, go on, show me your back bend initially. Let me have a little watch. So you're taking it in.
That arm comes up.
Yes. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, perfect. And then let's move the two in together so that it does step around the world into your back bend.
So step,
step, round, hip comes in front, yes, and then from there, leaning it back.
Back down.
Yes. Beautiful, lovely. Now I can't see your feet, but just make sure you're always up on your tippy toes when you do a back bend. No, it's all right, I'll take your word for it, as long as you know what your feet are doing. You want to be on your tippy toes. So basically, by being on your tippy toes when you're in your back bend, it just helps support your lower back, basically. So yeah, and then let's try it on the other side as well. So instead of having right hand high, step with the left hand high, step with your new inside leg, taking it round, swing to the hips, and bend, and back. Step, round, step, keep going, keep turning out so that you're ready to go. Comes in. So when you've done, that's so close, that's so close. As you've come round, keep turning that leg so that the hip comes in. So keep turning out, keep turning out, keep turning out. Yeah, and now we've got that new hip in, so then you can take off your top hand to be your back bend. Yes, perfect. Woo! Really nice. Okay, I'm going to park that one there. We're going straight on to the next one. Okay. So, next. Whoop, oh, sorry, darling. I dropped you with all the excitement. Oh dear, how have I done that? I need to prop you up with pillows. Can you see me okay?
Yours is really good. Is mine okay?
Yeah, yours is fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to move on to another spin. So we've done these ones before. It's our forward hook spin. When you do your forward hook spin, your main thing that you want to think about is that it's driving from your hips. So we actually have a hollow body, not a hollow body, an open body. So obviously hollow is where we're rounding out, and then open is when my hips are pushing forward, my chest is open, heart center open, and I'm kind of reaching up and pushing from this. So this is the position I want to be in. So if I take my right hand high and then my left hand comes across, my right leg is going to hook on, and then it's at this point that I push my hips forward so that I'm really squeezing my butt and bringing my knee back behind my hips. So you know when you do a quad stretch, your knee is kind of like in line with your hip, same feeling, okay? So I'm bringing my hips forwards. And then from here, lead with your hips hanging on that top arm, but really pulling in the shoulder so that it's more supportive for your shoulder. And then you can lean forward, take the other foot up behind. So my knees are apart, toes are together, all of the rest of me is open, open, open. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, it moved a bit.
Did it move?
I did this the other day. I don't know if it's. Oh no.
Ah!
I did it. It did it the other day, and then I adjusted these, and then it was fine.
Okay. We'll just make sure it's super tight and secure because we don't want you falling through the window.
Oh yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, feels better? Good. Lovely.
I'm really scared now.
Yeah, there's that little fear.
Why is it moving? So, hips forward.
Yeah.
Why am I scared that it's going to come down?
We'll just start with some more of like the step around the world if you want. So it's where your feet are on the floor still, but you're starting to put weight into it, or just walking around so that you're starting to put more weight into the pole, and it will start to feel a little easy, more comfortable, like you know that the pole's got your back. And then from there you can just do some like little jumps around. So you're kind of like taking your weight, it's taking your weight, but in little bits.
Okay, I'm sure it's. So then hips forwards. I just don't very far. I think
that looks pretty good. Yes, nice. Now at the moment you're gripping with your knee a little bit. You don't actually need to with this spin. You can it down. I mean, I can do this with leggings because I'm not technically gripping with my knee pit, but instead it's kind of just like guiding next to the pole. So my knee's actually quite far down, and then that just means that I can take it round. If you prefer the grip feeling though, you can also grip it, but then you lift up into it. So my hands come on, and then I kind of step up into it. So that's a slightly different way to get into it. If you really like the grip, you can kind of like switch up. But I say that one's slightly harder, but some people love it.
I feel like I'm just like gripping so much that I'm just not going anywhere.
Yeah, they stop flow.
But I don't know if that's just because it twisted a little bit and it's made me nervous. Maybe if I try the other side.
Nice. Good, good. Keep practicing that. Really focus on the hips pushing forward, but that's looking good. We're going to do the same move, but backwards. So that one was a forward hook spin, and I want us to do a backward hook spin. I find the backwards hook spin, the backwards part of it, really helps to get you in the right shape and in the right form. It just tends to, people often find this easier to get into the shape, but the fear sometimes comes with going backwards. But I'm hoping that you'll find it okay. So when we go backwards, as a general rule, your inside hand is low and your outside hand is over the top. As a general rule, forwards is your inside hand comes high, backwards, outside hand is high. I've got my inside leg hooking forwards again, and then from here I'm going to be leaning backwards, and you can almost push off this foot as well. So I'm kind of like, you can't really see my foot, but basically I can kind of like push off my heel as well if I want a little bit more spin, or I can just lean, and that will take use the leaning as momentum. So I'm leaning back and then lifting my toes together, and again pushing my hips forward. I find it's easier to get your hips pushing forward when you're doing it backwards. So I'll just show you on the other side as well. Hook, reach, lean, push hips forward, and taking it down. I feel like I'm a little bit too far up. Whoop. Show me that one again, darling. I missed it. Perfecto. That one was really nice. Really.
I just kind of.
That's okay. That's okay. The amount of spin that we do tends to increase the more confident the more comfortable we feel, because basically when we start doing any new exercise or any new activity, our nervous system obviously is on hyper alert, which makes our hands really sweaty, not helpful for pole, but we tend to squeeze a little bit tighter because we are just taking those precautions so that we can keep our body safe. And so naturally, by gripping more, it's like acting as a brake. And then as you do it more and more, you start to feel more comfortable. You have more faith that the pole isn't going to fall over, and that you can actually do the movement. And that in turn means that you hold on to it less. And so having less friction in your hands will just mean that you start to flow a little bit more and pick up the speed. So that just comes with time. Don't worry about it at all. Okay, cool. Next move I want us to do is pirouette. Let me know if you do want me to go over them more quickly. I do realise I am getting through them quite speedily, but I'm hoping that's helpful. Okay, so the next move that we're going to do is called pirouette. So a pirouette is technically a turn on the spot. So I'm turning round next to the pole. But because I'm doing it with pole, we have different arm movements and foot movements as well. So when I do a pirouette, it's always pivoting on my outside leg. So the leg that's furthest away from the pole is the leg that I do my pivot on. And so I reach my top hand, my inside hand comes high, and basically I'm turning underneath my arm, turning round to the other side. To be able to get this, I actually had to let go of my hand. So my hand reaches up nice and high. And as I turn underneath the pole, it gets to a point where I can't turn anymore because my hand's in the way. So this is when I let go of my hand, I roll over the top of my hand, keep turning around, and then I can re-grab as I unfold out. Okay, so I'm just going to show you just what my hand is doing. My hand starts here. As I've got round to doing my turn, I roll onto the back of my fingers, and then I can re-grab back to where I started. And this hand movement is so useful for loads of moves, and particularly when you do a choreography or transitions, you'll start to feel like you can do that twist with your hand super naturally, and that's where you want it to become. So just to add the extra little spin into it, I pivot on my outside leg. My inside leg just tucks up out of the way, and I'm going to step, turn underneath, and just kind of land where I am. And you can often step forward, step out of it. If that feels a little bit wibbly wobbly, you can also use your other hand for stability. So as I'm turning under, my hand comes round and faces the back of the pole. This is so that when I take my top hand off, I've still got some contact with the pole that feels more secure. So I've turned under, hand comes down, twist my top hand, push to continue with the spin. And then you can start to do this like more fluidly. And you can step it round the pole, so then I'll step forward, step with my outside leg, turn, step forward, step with my outside leg, turn. Does that make sense?
It feels like it would probably be a lot better in the studio because I'm sort of getting stuck on my carpet.
Oh yeah, it might feel a little bit like that.
Because I feel like I'm sort of getting pretty much round, but I get forward and then that first.
Yeah, that I won't worry too much about your feet. My main focus is how your hands are. So does that twist and re-grab feel okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect, wonderful. Because that's the main bit. That is normally the barrier when it comes to doing the pirouette. So as long as you can keep doing that without feeling like you're going to fall over, then that's excellent. And it's really worth practicing on both sides. But yeah, like I said, that twist of your hand is so important because you can use it in like numerous transitions. So that's kind of like a really key movement in pole, which if you miss can kind of like trip you up basically further down the line. But good, I'm ticking that off as done. In fact, I really should tick these off. I don't know where I've left my pencil. Okay, so next one that we're going to do is our fan kick position. Now I know we've done some fan kicks in class, so I'm going to show you a couple of variants depending on how comfortable you feel, and maybe you can work on one and then have one as like a progress, like head towards as well. But I'll just recap over the one that we've done in class as well. So you take your inside hand next to your eyebrow, bring the pole into the armpit, and this arm is parallel to the floor. So it's really snuggled into the armpit, giving it a cuddle. Outside hand comes over the top, hips come in front, squeeze the elbows towards one another so that your shoulders are nicely engaged. Your inside leg, so the one that's next to the pole, so if I'm in my left armpit, it's my left leg, that does the work first. So that one comes across my body, and I use this momentum to take my legs up and over, and then I'm drawing this big fan shape with one leg and then the other. So if I look at that sideways, hips are in front, squeeze here, leg comes up, over, and then twist it out. And hopefully you could see I kind of leave that a little bit easier. Say again?
No, I'm not. There's a little ledge, like not that, like quite close to me here. So
right,
I was quite there, but.
Try
you lift it up?
I can do, but that would make it harder. It's not necessary, basically, but you can do. Oh, boom, easy peasy. Sophie, I will just say as well, when you have your hands, try and keep them close together. Okay. It's not necessarily wrong that you've got your top hand higher, but basically by practicing it with your hands close together, it is preparing you to do inverts with your hands close together. And basically, if you have your hand too high, when you want to hook your leg on, your hand's in the way. So it's just really good practice to always keep your hands together in this position.
Oh, it's why is it moving?
Does it feel a bit
It's
precarious?
a little bit like it might just need tightening, but I think it's okay.
Yeah. Have you had it on spin and then taking it back to static?
Yeah. Last thing I did.
If it feels like it wants to go back on spin. While you do that, I'm just going to switch into my shorts. Okay. So when it starts to move, is it just that it's trying to go back spinny rather than the actual bit from the top coming undone? Or could it be that? It depends. So let me bring this to my pole. Okay, so let's move that there. If when it's so, is yours similar to mine? It depends whether it's the same mechanism as mine. But do you have like these little keyhole?
No.
No, you don't.
Only at the top.
Say again.
Only at the top.
Oh, at the top. How
So
interesting.
mine is switch camera. So it's like this at the bottom.
Okay.
And then wait, do you mean like these holes? Where's the camera?
How do you put it onto spinning? Does yours go on spinning?
These ones. Yeah, these ones.
The bottom two. Yeah. When you put them back onto static, do you have to? Is there like a marking on the base which tells you?
No, I watched the video. The X-Pole video said to line it up, but mine didn't have a mark, so I just sort of tighten them wherever they are.
Yeah. Because that can sometimes be the way. So often if the pole has been on spinning, but then it's not been locked back into its certain angle, then it sometimes has a little it's not basically got into the slot mechanism on the inside of the pole, and therefore then it just keeps swinging round, and then it can go completely back onto spinning again. But it's difficult to tell if you there isn't a marking, you wouldn't know where the right mechanism is.
I think it's okay. It was only that little jolt, but
yeah,
I'll check it.
Okay.
Reread the instructions.
Well, yeah, we'll reread and then we'll hopefully we'll be okay for today. Oops, right. Let me reshuffle. Okay, so your fan kick is looking great. I'm going to do another one, but with slightly different arm positioning. So this is called a bracket grip fan kick, or sometimes I refer to it as a cartwheel as well. That's just some of the names for it. So your hands are in a different position. Your hands are eyebrow height or eyesight height, and then your finger and thumb face down. So normally this is called a bracket grip, but I'm bringing that top hand a little bit lower and the other hand down as normal. So my hands are apart, therefore in like a bracket hold. Now, because my hands are in the open position, I start behind the pole. So then I'm going to step forward with my outside leg. So the one that's furthest away from the pole, same as my top hand, that steps forwards next to the pole. And then my other leg can thread through and hit on the hip to then fan kick over. So I will step up, over and out. So I'll just show you on the other side. Hand comes in, other hand goes down. Step with my outside leg, thread through, rest on my hip. So as this leg comes through, I rest on my hip and the leg goes up and over. And I'm really like leaning back. So I'll just show you it from the side so you can see how much I lean back. So step over and kind of wrap around the pole as well. Let me have a little goosey gander at how you're doing. Yeah, good. Just bring your hand, you're quite twisted with your wrist. Just make sure that it keeps your wrist straight. Yeah, perfect, perfect.
So then step up like
yeah. And then I kind of rest on that hip, lean ever so slightly back, and then the fan kick legs go over. Pulling with that top hand, pushing with that bottom hand.
So we're going towards.
Yeah, you did that in the right position. Obviously, you wanted to do, you felt more comfortable doing the smaller jumping into it. But yeah, that was going in the right motion. So it will be my step, little hopping over. Yes, good. So this one's much harder. So it's more demanding on your arms, it's more demanding on your fear. But yeah, you've got the right form. That's looking really nice. So maybe that's one that you can just keep practicing away at. I'm
getting so confused of which way I'm meant to go.
You went, yeah, when you did it that way, it was exactly right. So your inside leg starts it, yeah, and then that leg kind of goes over. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I feel like I know what I need to do. I just need to do.
Yeah. It's looking good.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Show me on the other side, just because I know it can be a bit confusing then transitioning to the other side.
Outside leg.
Your outside leg, yeah. Step, outside, inside leg comes in, yes. With smaller movement, but yeah, that was looking good. You got things in the right position. Yeah, and it's just twisting and putting more weight in your arms while you do that lift. But I think you've found your favourite side. That's good. Good, lovely. So that's a harder version of a fan kick. That just kind of gives you something to keep practicing and keep getting your teeth stuck into if you're wanting a bit more of a challenge.
Where does that one end?
I can do like step around and out often. So I will step up, over, and then I will step out of it. So I kind of like unravel round, but it really depends because you could attach it to a move. And therefore, then you might, I don't know, hook your leg on and lean out. Like it depends what you're doing with it. But I guess normally I would just wrap around and then leave it out, do a little pirouette, and then hook my leg on. So loads of things you can do. But normally I'd step out of it and wrap around.
I felt like I wanted to come out of that facing the pole, but I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I do. I kind of stay. So as I'm coming round, I come into the pole, chest to the pole, and then unravel out eventually.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of keep close. Keep body into the pole. That's how it kind of feels. Good. I'm putting a little tip with the fan kick bracket grip. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? There, bracket grip. Oh, look, that's in level 3. Okay, cool. So, next, let's take things more challenging. We're comfortable with our half star, we? We're getting there. Good, I'll take that.
Got a lot better.
Good. Now, when I saw your last picture of your half star, your bottom hand is quite close to your bottom leg, and I want that to be lower. Now, I want you to aim for about 25-30 centimetres, so about a foot between your bottom leg and your bottom hand. So as you're getting into it, I'll just show you from here. Hand comes in shoulder height or roughly shoulder height. Leg goes on straight so you can get it right in the knee pit. Give it a good old squeeze, no air coming in. Reach down nice and low. Now the reason I start this hand shoulder height is so that when it's straight, I can then bring my body horizontally and bring my hand down from there. Now I aim for the little nuts and bolts that are at the bottom, and you've got the same nuts and bolts, so I want you to aim for them. Either shuffle your leg, or if you feel confident, you can lift your leg up, or you can shuffle your leg behind, whatever way. Get it really high up onto your thigh. The higher, the better it is. It's more comfortable. And then squeeze it in and then straighten it out if that's comfortable. And then you see I've got a nice big gap between my bottom leg and my bottom hand. And I'm really pulling this leg in, squeezing here, pushing here, and then that frees this hand up to come off if I wish to, or I can leave it on, whichever feels most comfortable. But really pulling in, and again just really emphasizing that gap. So the bigger the gap, the easier it is for you to hold. And then to come out, I really want you to start practicing pulling on this top hand, giving it a good push to reach up, and then pull to step out. It's really exhausting doing it that way, but it really helps to build up your strength and helps to get that strength ready to do transitions from that move, etc.
Okay, so
show me what you've got while I have my orange squash.
Straight arm, hand down.
Beautiful, lovely, easy peasy. That's fantastic. You take that top hand off. Pull in your bottom leg, squeeze in your top knee. Yeah! And pull up and out. Yes, girl. Woo!
I was like, oh, I'm not filming this one.
Hand up. Look at that. All that practice. And you're nailing it. That looks so good. So good. Right. Switch it over. Let's see it on the other side. Woo. That was excellent. Oh, I'm dead chuffed with that, Sophie. That looks really nice.
Do you remember how long I was trying to get that one as well? And I was in class.
It's I know, it takes so much commitment, doesn't it? But once you've got it now, and you've got it for life.
Right, so here.
Good. Nice, hand nice and low. Wonderful, yes. Look at that one, easy to get into. Pulling the bottom leg in, squeezing the top knee. Nice, wonderful. Woo! And pulling up and out, really good. Oh, that is, hey. There, boom, boom. Really nice. Just on that side, I noticed that your shorts were hitting the pole. Is that infecting you at all? You don't feel too slippy with your bottom leg?
No, I felt okay. I didn't feel as comfortable to let go at first, but that's probably just me and my mind.
Yeah, it can. We play tricks on ourselves, don't we? But our mind's there to keep us safe, so it's doing its job. But yeah, I sometimes, you just had a little bit of material touching the pole, and sometimes I find it's easier having that bit of skin, because then it can really grip onto the skin a little bit easier. It makes me feel a bit more secure. But it looked fabulous. Okay, so half star done.
That's why I've taken my stuff as well.
Really good. So we're next going to move it on to full star. This is where two hands are on and you're going to push your top leg straight. So I'll show you what I mean. So you're in your half star, et voila. Two hands are on and then you're going to push your top leg straight. So I'm pulling in with my bottom leg, pushing in with my top leg. Push, push, push in opposite directions. One pushing, one pulling. Then regrip, up, pull out. And same on both sides. So I'm down and in, half star, grab back on, two hands on, and push the top leg straight. Grip. Hey.
Cool. So, shoulder whip. Ooh.
Nice. Good. Solid.
No.
Lovely. And then yes, beautiful. Oh, tickety tick tick tick. Really good. And nice pull out entry as well. Really, really good. Right, switcheroo, try the other side.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I look really I don't know if I should pull the blinds down, but
no, it looks okay. Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay, I'll go a bit further this way so there's not a ledge. Like, oh yeah, I see what you mean by short.
Yeah, it just can make that little difference, but then that can make a big difference. Oh, beautiful, really nice, really good. Just be careful on that one that your bottom hand is lower than your bottom leg, just because then it can take a little bit too much pressure on the wrist joint and on your elbow joint. That's the thing. It just makes it less on the joints, but I'm putting a tick onto that one. Okay, next one is called Martini. We're taking it up a whole new notch, okay? So this one might be one that you don't get straight away, but might be one that you can keep practicing so that you start to get there over time. Okay, so we're in a half star. You're going to reach your bottom hand up over the top of your lower hand, okay? Keep squeezing with this knee, and then you're going to take your leg behind the pole, don't touch the floor, and wrap it round the other side. Keep your butt and your hips close to the pole throughout, and you've got your two knees together. Now, I've got my right knee hooking the pole, so I'm going to take my right elbow into the pole. So I'm hooking with my elbow, straighten my left leg, and wrap my hand over the front, pulling my hips in, and I can take my hand off. And my martini shape, like a martini glass. Hand goes, hands on, both hands come on, and then pull up to step out. I'm going to go through that again because that's a lot of instructions. I'm going to show you on the other side. So I'm starting in my half star, okay? I reach, make sure I'm gripping on with my top leg, reach my bottom hand up over the top. Leg comes round, keep my hips low and my butt close to the pole. Elbow goes in, straighten my leg, wrapping it over, push my hips down and then out. Okay? Hand goes on, pull up and out, come out. Now, the most common way people fall out of this is by pulling their hips as they swing their leg round the back, pull their hips too far away, and then you just lose your grip on your knee. So really focus on keeping your hips as close to the pole as you transition your leg round, and thinking about really squeezing that knee on the entire time.
So when I'm on this side, it's going to be this elbow.
Yes, correct. Same knee, same elbow. And wrap the hand over the top of the other leg.
Okay, so...
Lovely. So, hand comes up. Good. Leg comes around the back. Hips low. Yes, yes, yes. Knees together. Elbow. Hold the leg at the front. Straighten out that front leg. And then pull on your leg so your elbow kind of holds your leg in place. So really wrapping around. Yes! I cannot believe it. You have done it first time. That is unheard of. That's amazing, darling. Amazing.
I know you're both just screaming.
That looks so good. When you grab your leg, you're at the moment trying to grab it at your knee, and I felt like you were just getting it. See if you lift your leg a little bit higher so you can get a proper grip of your calf muscle, and then then kind of counterbalances. It's pulling on the leg, but you're pulling the leg in, so it just helps to ease and sink it a little bit together a little bit more. That was success, champion Sophie. That was brilliant. Right, let's try this again on the same side. So keep the same side. Just try it one more time before we try on the other. Are your back of knees okay?
They're getting a little bit sore. They'll be all right.
Okay.
I've practiced half star so much, so I feel like they're getting used to it.
They're like black with bruising.
They were the other day. I was covered.
Oh, bless you. Okay, we'll do a I tell you what, if you want it, you can either. I was going to suggest trying it one more time on this side so you feel nice and confident with it, and then trying it on the other side. But if your knees are feeling like they're giving up a little bit, then just try it on the other side once, and then you can practice it in your own time.
It should be okay. I'm gonna also put my phone and try and video.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead.
Because that felt like I was just very surprised. Oh no! Okay, that's.
If not, you've got this on recording as well, so hopefully it's captured that as well. Although I might be in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
Yes, nice.
I like that.
Reach up, good. Leg comes round, knees together. Keep squeezing, good. Elbow in. Holding the leg, pull, pull, pull. Hand comes off, pelvis tucks under. You've got this. Yeah!
Oh, that
really
wasn't
nice, really good.
Didn't feel as good. But...
No, that's all right. That's all right. It's looking good. It's looking good. Dare we try this on the other side?
Yes, I'm going to put a little bit more chalk on because I feel like.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Slippy. The hand from the bottom didn't quite get over the top. It went under first. And then sort of...
Yeah, that's okay. It just tends to feel a little bit more comfortable if you can get it over the top. So basically, if you have it, so if I have it underneath, it is okay. But basically, as I come round, then for me to take off my hand going into my elbow, I don't feel as confident in my arm. Whereas if that's high, I can hang more in my shoulder. So that's the only reason. It's basically, it's to take it away from being a bicep hold when you then transition to your elbow grip. And instead, because your hand's higher, you can hold it more in your shoulder. So it tends to be a little bit more secure. So that's the only real reason, is that, you know, it's a stronger hold if you have your hand over the top, but it's not the end of the world if you have it underneath.
Well,
as you have discovered.
Went on top.
Yeah, ideally bringing the bottom hand on top, because then your back will support you in the transition onto your elbow grip. But if not, your bicep will have to do.
Okay, so
cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Excellent. Fabulous. Good. Hand can go underneath if it needs to. Lovely. Leg goes round.
Oh no.
If it's distracting to have your hand come over the top, then just have it underneath.
I think on the other side I sort of bought it here. I think my foot tapped on the floor and I then moved it. So I probably cheated.
We'll make you do it up the pole shortly.
Okay. Right. On hand. Oh.
Lovely. Keep it below. That's okay. Swing the leg round. Knees together. Elbow in.
Oh.
Yes. Straighten out that leg. Straighten out the leg. Pull on the leg. She's so close.
It was like here. My elbow.
Oh, just on the leg. Yeah, if it's not right at the elbow, it can be a bit uncomfortable. That was good. You're literally so close to getting that feeling comfortable. So it's just a few more practices and you'll have that nailed. Really nice, darling. Great work. Okay, let's give the back of our knees a little bit of a break, and I wanted us to work on some thigh grips. So we're going to work on our sit. How are you with your sit in general?
Some days when I've tried it, it feels okay.
Okay, great.
I have no idea what's going on. So
yeah. I will take that as a really good place. So often when we do any kind of moves that are skin grippy, it goes for, in fact, actually, often when we do any moves, it goes from being, I can't do it, to I can sometimes get it, or I've got it once or twice, and then we go through that phase of it being I can get it but not consistently, and then it becomes more consistently that we get it, and then we can consider it nailed. We can get it every single time we try. So if you're on that stage where you're like, oh, actually I can get it, most of the time I can get it, but sometimes it's a little bit tender and I don't want to do it, that's a really good place to be in, because that's you're tilting over to I've nearly got it every single time. So cracking work there. I'm just going to go through some real little pointers about our sit, just so that it can start to feel more comfortable more quickly. And it might be that you know them anyway, but it might be a refresher, and then you go, oh yeah, pelvis in this direction will help. So I'll just
that's the bit I'm confused on that.
Say it again.
That's the bit I get confused on which way I'm supposed to be tucking in.
Right, so let's go through that, and then hopefully it'll help clear things up. So when I go into my sit, I always like to do a little jump into it, but you can do it from the floor as well. If you want me to show you it from the floor, just let me know. I can go through that in a minute. So I'm going to do a little jump, and I want you to just take over whichever leg naturally folds over. Doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong. It is good to practice both, but when we're beginning, just start with the one that feels most comfortable. So I'm jumping up, legs cross over. Now when I'm here, I'm then going to tilt my pelvis under. So the first thing I want to do is slouch into it. Pelvis is going under. And then I lean over towards my lower leg. So pelvis under, and then leaning over towards my lower leg, so that I've got a twist in my hips. So for me, my right leg is at the top, so my right hip is high. If your left leg is at the top, your left hip needs to be high. And then as you're here, if you feel comfortable taking one hand off, taking the other hand off, and then practicing getting that balance and taking two hands off. You can also wrap your back leg, your bottom leg, around the back of the pole to feel a little bit more balanced as well. But try to do it with 2 feet off, so that it's a little cleaner, because then you can have pointy toes. Did that help in terms of like positioning?
Yeah. So
let me have a look.
Do the arms matter?
No.
No, just
nice. Good. Beautiful. Really nice. One hand off. Lovely. Switch over to the other hand off. Easy peasy. That's looking good. That's looking really comfortable, actually. Yeah, you hold that for a few seconds. I will take that any day of the week. That's really nice. Okay, so you can practice your sit in your own time. I want us to take it into a horizontal lean out. So this is where you need space to be able to lengthen out, and we twist our hips ever so slightly. So I start in my sit, pelvis is under, leaning over. Hands come on, and they're both about nose height, so about neck height. No, well, face height. Straighten out my legs, keeping them either crossed at the knees or crossed at the ankles, and I can also flex up my feet to make me feel a little bit more secure, but obviously pointy toes are preferred because then it looks neater. Really still twisting with my hips. You see how open I am? I'm not straightening up. So even though my legs are straight, I am still twisting. And then from here, I can lean out with my hands, and if it feels okay, I can take my bottom hand out and over. And then to avoid this banana shape, I actually push my hips up forwards. So I can kind of like lean out in this position. Bring myself back in and then come off. Now, if you ever feel slippy on your hands, don't do this move. Keep the two hands on. Take it off, reach or cut, because you don't, once you're out, if you feel slippy on your top hand, you've kind of got nowhere to go. So other than falling off backwards and bumping your head, and we don't want that, so just make sure you've always got a nice grip on your top hand. Yeah, always focusing on keeping that twist in your hips, so your top leg, that hip is higher throughout.
Okay, so if this is the direction I have the most space, so if I'm going to be facing that hip needs to be up. Yeah, is your I can't think of which leg goes on top. Whichever leg that goes on top, that hip goes high. So you kind of open yourself out towards the side. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
So your right leg is lower. So keep twisting. Good. Keep that left hip high. Lovely. Excellent. Really nice. Really nice. Good. If that feels comfortable, you can then push down with your toes, push your hips up, and that will take you into a flatter line. Yes. Really nice. Beautiful. Beautiful, Soph. That's really good. Really, really nice. I'd be dead happy with that. Success. Horizontal lean out. Tickety boo. Wonderful. Okay. I'm going to do, I've done C as well. I'm going to do one final move. Do I do a sit or do I do a spin? Let me... Okay, I'm going to do a spin for you, but it's quite a tricky spin. But I think you'll actually like it. Oh, I hope you will anyway. So, and then I think that's possibly our final move of the session. We've got, it's called a carousel, and it's in our bracket grip. So we're spinning in this movement, but it's quite heavy on the arms, and it really helps to strengthen your arms to help you do all sorts of upside down fabulousness. So this one's kind of a really nice preparation move, and it's a stunning move in itself as well. So let me show you the move first, and then I'll break down how you do it. So this is the move.
Ooh.
Whee! It's so pretty. Okay, so how we actually do it, we have one hand nice and high, and I'm pulling down in that shoulder. So I'm not hanging from my arm, I'm really pulling my shoulder down and like engaging. You do, you're an aerobics teacher, aren't you? So you know the anatomy. So your latissimus dorsi is pulling down basically and really engaged. And then your bottom hand is pushing, pushing, pushing. Now it might look like I have a straight arm, but it's slightly bent. So I want my bottom arm to be slightly bent so that it's fully engaged, but it will look straight. So it's a micro bend basically, but it just helps to engage it and push, push, push it in. Now, because we're turning, it's quite common that you might twist your wrist around with this position, but try and keep your wrists square. So in line with your forearms to make sure that they're nice and safe and secure. And I step to go round to give myself a bit of spin. So I step, grab my position, push off this leg, and then I'm going to squeeze my butt cheeks, squeeze my back muscles, bring my legs, my knees back, and then my toes together. So I'm in that open body shape again, like the one that we saw in the forward hook spin, but obviously this time in a slightly different angle. So I step, bring my hands in, pull with my arm, and then push as I slide down. And then I just let the gravity and the slight bit of sweat on my hands bring me down. And that will just happen naturally. And practice this on both sides. So I always step with my hand that's at the top. That's my preference. That works really well for me, but it actually might be different for you. You might prefer to step with your other one. I just find I get a little bit more momentum if I do the same arm as top hand, the same inside leg as my top hand to push off, because then as I bring my other leg round, I can kind of like whip it in to give me that extra little boost. So step, whip, push, and take it round. I'll show you on the other side. Step, whip, push, and coming down.
Oh, this leg doesn't want to come off the floor.
This one's quite a challenging spin. It looks super cute. I love it so much, but it is quite challenging because it's demanding on the shoulders.
Yeah, I think we did that in Topher's class. That was like a back.
Oh, okay.
But for some reason, I was just like, yeah, I'm off. But today, I don't know why. I don't want to.
Oh, well. If you want to, you can just try it statically to begin with. Forget the spin part. See if we can just take the legs off behind and then take them back down.
I feel like I'm a bit slippy up here, but then obviously if I'm not slippy, I'm not going to spin.
Well, you can put a bit of chalk on if you feel like you're just going to go straight down. It's that balance, isn't it, of enough chalk but not too much.
Yeah, I'll put a tiny bit on. I feel like I'm literally going through this bottle.
Yeah. I've got quite a few in storage.
So up down. Well, I don't know what I lift. Maybe I am better to step into it.
Yeah, maybe use a bit of momentum to keep your legs up. Yes, good. That was feet off the floor, getting into the position. I'm that. Do you know what? Maybe it's one you, and then you can just kind of keep practicing it, and you'll start to feel more comfortable the more you do it. But it is a challenging one. I have purposely ended this with the one that is tricky, because then hopefully it gives you something. There's some that you already know that you can do, and just keep practicing so that they feel polished. And then there's others that, you know, sometimes there, so you can keep practicing them so that they start to feel more confident and more comfortable. And then there's this one that you're like, oh, it's not quite right, and there's plenty of time to practice and have a little jiggle with it and see, find the right kind of positioning for you, and just keep practicing with it, because it will come. Right, any questions?
No, I don't think so. That's amazing.
All right. Well, you know where I am, and you can always send me pictures, updates, videos, any questions like that. I'm more than happy to help you out as you get cracking.
I really want to do more, but I will have to check my bank account, because I'm obviously not getting paid as much. And
yeah. Completely understandable. It's so tricky, isn't it, finding that right balance? But just let me know. So obviously for this session, you've still got your £36. So if you wanted to add it up by topping it up by, oh God, how much is that? Like £14? That could give you another hour in a couple of weeks, and then you're doing it twice a month or something like that. It's up to you. You can kind of maybe
really
work
good
something around that.
Yeah, if we could.
So,
yeah. Okay.
If that feels like a more manageable way, because then instead of thinking, holy shit, I need to come up with 50 quid, then instead it's like, okay, well, how do could I do £14 here or there? Then that would mean it's another one, and then that's 2 a month, which is more fun.
Definitely. Okay.
Good.
I will do that.
All right.
Obviously, let my hands rest.
Let your hands rest, but enjoy, have some fun practicing. Let me know how you get on, and yeah, I hope to catch up with you very soon. Feel free to use this time to have a little bit of a stretch as well, particularly on your shoulders, because you'll have stretched out them, because you'll have used them, your triceps, your chest quite a lot. You'll have used your chest, and probably your glutes quite a bit as well. So if you're thinking, where do I stretch, there'd be my key areas that I would go for. Now, I'm sure you know all of your stretches anyway, but if you ever want any heads up on particularly some new stretches, or just a different way of stretching, or something that's fresh that might be new for you, then just drop me a message at any time and be like, I'm feeling a niggle in my shoulder, how do I get a stretch there? Then just holler out at me, and I will I mean, I know that you've got your experience in it anyway, but sometimes it's nice hearing other people's, because then you're like, oh yeah, I haven't done that one forever. Or it might be that you're like, oh yeah, I've never learned that one, let me try another one. So it would just be built into your repertoire as well. So
yeah. Amazing. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go and try and do the teeny.
Good. You take care, my lovely. It's so good seeing you.
Okay.
Lots of love, darling.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, how do I get out of this? I don't know. Oh, it's there. I've got it. Okay, see you, darling. Love you.